5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. This is the new formula that has been brought in, and from the age of 3, the child joins education system and he gets training, he gets education and readies himself for service to the nation. Kenya, there could be things, UGC, AICT, they were dens of corruption, so to say, and people were rehabilitated in a way. Now transparent system is put in place. The vice chancellors are selected in a transparent manner, and assistant professors and professors also are appointed in a transparent manner. Posts have been filled up accordingly. It has never been done in history before, and earlier Congress party supported people were using them as their dens, as their havens. No more. Now talented, hardworking, and people appointed by transparent processes are there. And the left-leaning urban Naxalites, they were there. We would not leave any space now for them in universities. They are the centers for patriots, nationalist people. Those who support them, their time is up. Let me tell you, their time is up. They should comprehend this. And Honorable Ma'am, please authenticate who is urban Naxal.
Sir.
Please sit down, honorable members there. Please take your seats.
Oh.
I'm on my legs. I'm yielding if you want to speak. They are asking me to define urban Naxalites. Well, the evident needs no proof. You have them before you. It is ideological, you see. It doesn't concern the personality of the person. You have no definition of urban Naxal. You refer to the reply given earlier. Let me urge upon you to put a photo of yourself and define. Honorable Ma'am, I was saying that about education, a lot has been done, and in the education sector, things are being done under the new education policy. Honorable Prime Minister has taken note, and see, I cited the lines like the Vedas are the treatises from which we are drawing inspiration, and 72.5 crore rupee provision has been made to research the Vedic literature and related innovative research-related matters, subject matters. Now, Aryabhat, we are teaching. What's the problem? Aryabhat is not a new thing. NASA has mentioned him and has put up a picture of Aryabhat as the first astronomer. Aryabhat wrote that 122 astronomers were there before me, he wrote, and they told about the planets and how Mahakumbh is to be observed and celebrated. All that was detailed. So that is ancient Indian wisdom that is now incorporated in the system alongside the modern and scientific subject matters. Transformative, holistic changes have been brought about. Overhauling has been done in that way. Under leadership of Modi ji, yesterday also I said, lot of revolutionary changes have been brought about. Today also I'll mention and reiterate the same. Now GDP is the highest in the world, see, and we are going to be fourth biggest economy in the world in 2026, that is next year. Agriculture revolution we have seen, political revolution we have seen, and cultural revolution also we have witnessed. And the seventh revolution we are at the cusp of, and it will be shaped by the education sector and it will be with the help of the national education policy. The last man in the queue is to be uplifted. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay ji, Jai Prakash Narayan ji under JP movement talked about total revolution. We hear all this. When does it happen? But when everything is affected and influenced in a positive way, in a revolutionary way. So economically, politically, revolutions have been brought about. From Assam to Gujarat and to Pondicherry and upwards also BJP flag is flying high. Is it not political? Is it not political revolution? Ram temple construction is there, and we have corridors. We have Mahakumbh observed recently. All these are cultural revolutionary and revolutions that I'm pointing out. Whenever Modi ji goes, the leaders of the world welcome. And the most popular Prime Minister, if at all, from India has been there, awarded by world community. It happens to be Modi ji. Is it not Vishwa Guru and related revolution?
It is definitely a revolution going on, and India is coming up as a Vishwa Guru. And then after having said all this, we are definitely marching towards total revolution. Definitely it's a transformative time we are witnessing. And I have to add here before I conclude, sir, that the new education policy which we have brought, with that in, sir, India is going to come up as the world leader, as the world center for innovation and research, like Nalanda, like Takshashila of the ancient times. We are going to have world centers of innovations, and we have opened such centers here. That has happened only in the times of Modi ji. This is happening, sir. This is a revolution. This is educational revolution. And this is not only revolution, these are the times which are changing, sir. So this new education policy is also about transformation of our sanskars, the impressions of all the generations. That is happening, sir. And for that, sir, I congratulate Honorable Minister. I congratulate Honorable Prime Minister, and with that said, sir, I conclude.
Shri Rita Pratap Banerjee, 12 minutes mein hai aapka.
Mr. Banerjee, you have 12 minutes.
Thank you, Madam. As I speak on behalf of my party, AITC, I want to mention that education is the basic building block of every society. It is the single best investment that countries can make to build prosperous, healthy, and equitable societies. But unfortunately, education for all still remains a distant dream in our country. Since decades, discussions and demands for allocation of 6% of GDP on education continues. Union expenditure on education in the budget has been 0.37% of the GDP, much below the set target of 6% of the new education policy 2020. Ensuring equitable access to quality education is one of the greatest challenges facing the country. 80% of our youth are unemployed. 1 in every 3 youth are neither in education, employment, or training. 93% of the workforce contributing to more than 50% of our GDP is employed in the unorganized sector, madam, with no job security, social security, and are deprived of statutory benefits. Now, as we discuss education, Honorable Minister is here. Now I want to mention, without any consultation with the state governments, the NEP has been forcibly thrusted upon the states. Our state government was forced to start the 4 years graduation course with interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary framework so that the students of the state don't lag behind or suffer as far as the all India perspectives are concerned. But the huge infrastructural expenditure that the state government is incurring is not borne by the central government. Leave aside the allocation for meeting such huge expenses. The union government is completely silent about the areas from where this huge expenditure will be met. The persistence of the governor as chancellor, this model has caused numerous problems in the governance of state universities. While state governments fund these universities, governors wield substantial power without corresponding accountability. This creates a dual authority system with conflicting demands. Disagreement between governors and state governments, particularly in opposition-ruled states, lead to delays in appointing VCs, causing administrative paralysis. These delays affect areas such as the appointment of staff, the implementation of projects, and even the awarding of degrees. Now, some governors rely on political interference, often prioritizing the center's political agenda over the university's autonomy and interest. Allowing governors appointed by center to control state institutions compromises the principle of federalism. State universities should be fully accountable to elected state governments only, elected by the people. The search committee headed by former Chief Justice of India, U. Lalit, had made some recommendations. In spite of those recommendations, the governor of West Bengal has only appointed 14 permanent vice-chancellors out of the government-run and aided 31 universities.
For a considerable period of time, attempts are being made to establish direct contacts with the vice-chancellors of the state government-aided universities, bypassing the state government. Those vice-chancellors who are not maintaining direct contact, they are being unethically removed from their respective position by the chancellor. As a result, the higher education system in the state is on the verge of collapse.
All power for appointments of vice-chancellors of the state-run and aided universities have been vested in the hands of the chancellors. The governors who are the chancellors are completely ignoring the elected state governments. Literally all powers are centralized in the hands of the union government, though education is not in the central list. The Samagro Shiksha in center state sponsored scheme with fund sharing in the ratio of 60:40. Despite having one of the best performances in Samagro Shiksha, the state of West Bengal is deprived from its share. The minutes of program approval board of Samagro Shiksha reveals that Government of India has recommended rupees 2629 crore of budgetary outlay for 23-24 for the state, out of which the Government of India's share was 1745.78 crore. Out of this 1745.78 crore, 311.29 crore has only reached the state. No money otherwise has reached. Despite a number of communications repeatedly from the state government, the Government of India has not released any funds. The Government of India did not release its share to the tune of 1433.71 crore in 23-24 and zero allocation in 24-25 till date. It will not be out of place to mention that the Government of India has not released cumulatively rupees 3180.31 crore during 23-24 and 24-25 respectively to the state of West Bengal. The Government of West Bengal under Mamata Banerjee is instead releasing its state share of 40% as well as additional allocation to the Samagro Shiksha Society to ensure that the wages and salaries are given in time to the Samagro Shiksha employees, composite grant to schools and other student-centric incentives. The non-release of funds by the Government of India, despite cleared by Ministry of Finance in favor of state of West Bengal, is a clear sign of deprivation of our people and is depriving our people from the right of education, and this is a clear violation of act framed by the parliament. Now we are learning from the media that due to the non-signing of MOU by the Government of West Bengal for PM School for Rising India scheme, which is a separate scheme with separate guidelines, separate budget, separate SNA account, the fund release under Samagro Shiksha has been stopped. Now, the state has raised its objection to the scheme, having name as PM3, despite fund sharing of 60:40. Secondly, there is no mention in the guideline of Samagro Shiksha that signing of MOU for PM3 is a precondition for release of funds under Samagro Shiksha scheme, which is designed under Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009. The new centrally sponsored scheme has been framed with funding pattern 60-40, and this is a scheme actually the Government of India wants to create pressure on the states so that the states accept the scheme designed to implement priorities which are not agreeable to the state government. Now, the ideas of the ruling class, madam, are in every epoch the ruling ideas. The class which has at its dispensation the means of material production also in turn controls the means of mental production. This is pretty clear. When I heard Mr. Ghanashyam Tiwari speaking, I remembered these words because the NEP 2020 speaks of promoting critical thinking, scientific temper, and constitutional values. Now we have cut down what we have cut down from our texts. We have cut down the periodic table. We have cut down Darwin's theory of evolution. We have cut down the theorem of Pythagoras. We are going on cutting down. We have cut down Michael Faraday's contribution to scientific understanding of electricity and magnetism. This has been removed. Even as thousands of scientists across the country have protested, the NCERT are not paying any heed. Now, sir, Madam, I want to mention, in 2018, Minister of State, then Minister of State of Higher Education, Satyapal Singh, baffled the scientific community by demanding that the theory of evolution be removed from school curriculum because no one ever saw an ape turning into a human being. Other political leaders from the ruling dispensation came to his defense in the social media. The National Educational Research and Training has decided to omit the chapter of the periodic table, telling that this is a rationalization exercise. I want to know from the Honorable Minister, what does this rationalization exercise means of omitting the periodic table from the curriculum? Now the Council also has deleted chapters, democracy and diversity, popular struggles and movements, political parties, and challenges to democracy. Now, sir, madam, I come to the very important point of educational institutions run by the minorities. There are 54,000 educational institutions run by the Christian community in our country. About 7 crore of students go to these institutions every year. 70 to 75% of the students are not Christians. They are from different communities, Hindus, Muslim, Buddhists, Sikhs, even atheists. Why does the government want to interfere with the administration of this institution and intimidate these institutions? Yes. There are many ministers in Modiji's cabinet. I can name many of them who have been to this institution. It is a long list, but I will give only one name. The President of the Bharatiya Janata Party, the Honorable Leader of the House, Honorable J.P. Nadda, he went to St. Michael's, Patna. He is the right person to share what a great education he had at this minority-run institution. Now, let me finish. Okay, sorry. I correct it, sir. Now, how is India described? How is India described? Sir, as India was described by our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Nehru said in his discovery of India, Nehru invoked the very evocative idea of the palimpsest. In ancient times, before the discovery or invention of paper, the palimpsest was either a tablet stone or a wood on which every victor would erase the past history and write his own convenient version. But India is a typical palimpsest, an ancient palimpsest on which layer upon layer of thought and reverie had been inscribed, and yet no succeeding layer had completely hidden or erased which have been written previously. This beauty of India will continue despite of all attempts to erase away all our glories. Now, lastly, I have a minute left. So lastly, I want to mention the Uttar Pradesh government. Uttar Pradesh government has revised the syllabus, and in the revision of the syllabus, the Uttar Pradesh government have excluded Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore has been excluded from the syllabus of the Uttar Pradesh government. An elected state government has every right of doing it. It is their prerogative. They probably think that Rabindranath can be replaced by Ramdev. I have no problem. The UP government thinks that Rabindranath can be replaced by Ramdev. The true polymath, accomplished musician and artist. Madam, please, I crave your indulgence. I will take a minute more. The true polymath, accomplished musician and artist, an electric philosopher and a passionate political activist, Rabindranath advocated the integrity of education and culture. The people who are dropping him from textbooks are the ones who are dictating that we can't eat fish on particular days of the month. Ancestors of Rabindranath and of us have been eating fishes for 5,000 years. It is in our DNA. The problem is, madam, some people don't understand the pulse of Ma Mati Manush. Ma Mati Manush means mother, land and people. Along with Ma Mati Manush comes Ma Mati Manush and Mach. That means Ma Mati Manush and fish. Tagore, I will just quote a line of Tagore. Tagore had said, they have deleted Tagore. It was Tagore who said, it was Tagore. Ami Prithibir Kobi.
Your time is over. Your time is over.
আমার বাঁশির সুরে সারা তার জাগিবে তখনই in any corner of the world will be reciprocated.
डॉक्टर कनिमोजी एवियन सोमू 14 मिनट का टाइम है आपका.
Dr. Kaniboji, you have 14 minutes. Dr. Kaniboji now.
बैठिए बैठिए.
Please resume your place. Please sit down. Sit down.
India. He's talking for India.
Honorable Vice Chairman, sir, and esteemed members of this august House. As of March 2025, India had a total of 30 cabinet-level education ministers. The Ministry of Education, formerly known as the Ministry of HRD, has seen various cabinet ministers since its inception, including prominent figures such as the Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, the first education minister post-independence, followed by the leaders like MC Chagla, Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed, VK.R.B. Rao, and many more. But after the reign of the BJP led by Prime Minister Honorable Modi, the challenges within the education ministry, particularly with irrational policy decisions, emerged when Modi administration assumed office in 2014. Under his leadership, there has been a discernible shift that has infringed upon the state's autonomy, deviating from established federal principles and undermining the intended framework of development and inclusive governance. During his reign from 2014 to 2016, centralization and curriculum changes have taken place. From 2016 to 2019, implemented the NEET and the undermining state autonomy, and from 2019 to 2021, controversial NEET GE exams amid the COVID-19 pandemic, and right now, Honorable Dharmendra Pradhan, from 2021 to present, implemented the NEP language policies, infringing on the state autonomy and cancelling the MP quota seats in the KV schools. Sir, before the British rule, education in India was decentralized. The colonial system centralized the education, offering limited access, particularly for rural, poor, and women, and aimed at creating an elite serving the empire. Post-independence, India faced the dual challenge of unifying a diverse nation and addressing the deep educational disparities. The framers of the Indian Constitution recognized education as a vital tool for nation building. As a result, education was placed in the concurrent list of the Constitution under the Article 246, which made it a shared responsibility of both the union and the state governments. From this time itself, sir, Tamil Nadu has been a forerunner in the educational reforms and achievements. The state introduced free and compulsory education in 1947, well ahead of many other states in India. By 1960s, it implemented the midday meal scheme, which continues to be a model for the other states. This initiative not only improved enrollment, but also reduced dropout rates, especially among the underprivileged children. The state emphasizes on education has led to impressive literacy rate within Tamil Nadu, constantly ranking among the top states in the literacy in India. Sir, from the 60s, Tamil Nadu has been following the two-language policy, and Tamil Nadu has been successful in achieving the good GR enrollment ratio. As of the 2011 census, the Tamil Nadu's literacy rate stood at 80.3%, significantly higher than the national average. The state's focus on the technical education has contributed to its state as a hub for industries like IT and engineering. Tamil Nadu also has a strong emphasis on inclusive education. Furthermore, the state's success in reducing educational inequalities through schemes like the free uniforms, bicycles, the digital learning platform continues to receive national recognition. Sir, the Tamil Nadu GER's growth is 51.4%, in contrast to the India's GER during the same period grew close to 6 percentage points from 21.5 to 27.1. Tamil Nadu has achieved the significant success in education with the GER of 80% in higher education, one of the highest in India. The state progressive initiative like the School Education Quality Index, the breakfast scheme, which is very close to our heart, Chief Minister, the Kale Sitrundri Thanavithittam, and our two-language policy have set benchmarks for the nation. The breakfast scheme in particular ensures that underprivileged students receive nutritious meal, improving their academic performances, sir. So the GER of Tamil Nadu's higher education stands first in India as per the data of the All India Survey of Higher Education. This is almost double as the national average. So the two-language policy has promoted inclusivity by offering education in both Tamil and English. Honorable Sir, Tamil Nadu was one of the first states to implement the Right to Education Act, ensuring that children from all backgrounds have access to quality education. No matter what, when it comes to rational and logical initiatives, Tamil Nadu will adopt and implement the decisions as the state without any hesitation. This is how we have followed the family planning initiative, and for that one reason, Tamil Nadu is getting penalized in the delimitation. At the same time, sir, you can expect utmost denial if the policy decision is irrational, causing social injustice and infringing state autonomy and the federal structure. Tamil Nadu is against the opposed NEET, GE and NEP as it's irrational, causing social injustice and infringing the state autonomy and the federal structure. Yet Tamil Nadu is forced to implement the BJP government's flawed and irrational policies, causing social injustice and infringing on the state autonomy and the federal structure. The minister and this government should be regretful for pushing such policies to the state, which hold a long-standing legacy of social justice with a rational mindset, especially when it comes to education. The denial mindset of the honorable ministers went at diverting the funds allocated for the Tamil Nadu educational infrastructure to other states is disrupting the key projects, including the classroom construction, the teacher training, and the resource provisions. These setbacks threaten the state's educational advancements, particularly in the rural area. Sir, I take this opportunity to clarify certain facts which has been going for quite some time. Sir, Tamil Nadu has never accepted the NEP 2020 policy. I say it again, Tamil Nadu has never accepted the NEP 2020 policy. We had only promised to come back. We had only promised to come back on this issue after scrutinizing the NEP policy with the committee. In August 2024, the government of Tamil Nadu, under the leadership of our Chief Minister, Honorable M.K. Stalin, sir, we had informed that we have scrutinized the NEP 2020 and is almost similar to the previous Navodaya school project, which was already not implemented in Tamil Nadu, and we are not keen on implementing the NEP 2020 policy in Tamil Nadu. Then where comes the question of we have accepted and we have declined? I seriously don't understand. This is ridiculous. The Tamil Nadu government has been urging the union government not to withhold the release of funds under the ongoing Samagra Shiksha scheme by linking it to the signing of MOU for the establishment of the PM Sri schools in Tamil Nadu, as the state has some valid reservations to certain elements of the National Education Policy 2020. The first clause of the proposal of the MOU of the PM Sri schools mandates that the state implement all provisions of NEP. Many of the acceptable provisions of the NEP were being implemented in Tamil Nadu even before the launch of this NEP program, and has covered the state, it has been covered in the state education policy. Linking the release of these funds to compliance with the PM Sri schemes undermines the state autonomy as granted by the Indian Constitution, which lists education under the concurrent list. Furthermore, characterizing the Samagra Shiksha as merely an extension of the NEP 2020 is misleading and fails to recognize the state comprehensive educational framework and achievements. The delayed release of funds for Tamil Nadu education system is not just an administrative issue, sir. It is a matter of constitutional and federal importance. Under Article 21A, which was introduced by the 86th Amendment, the Indian Constitution guarantees the right to education to all children between the ages of 6 and 14 as a fundamental right in such a manner as that the state may by law determine, I repeat, sir, in such a manner as the state may by law determine. This is a fundamental right of children as well as the state, and any actions that hinder the provision of the quality of education infringe upon his right. Sir, in this context, with withholding the funds allocated to Tamil Nadu for educational development is a direct infringement on the state's autonomy, sovereignty, and the linguistic rights of Tamil Nadu. As a member of the Union of India, is entitled to equitable development and fair allocation of resources for the development of its educational infrastructure. By delaying the release of funds, the federal government is not only undermining Tamil Nadu's educational progress, but also violating the principles of the cooperative federalism that are meant to guide the relationship between the states and the unions. The delayed funds affects the very essence of the federal structure of our country. The cooperative federalism framework envisioned by the framers of our constitution was designed to ensure that all states have equal developmental opportunities irrespective of the geographic or political influence. When the funds meant for the state's development are delayed or withheld, with its only hampers the state's growth, but also destabilizes the balance of power that is the integral part of a federal system. Sir, the government of Tamil Nadu, under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, has retreated that there would be no change in its two-language policy of Tamil Nadu, and English has been formed since 1968. Sir, I repeat, Tamil Nadu government, under the leadership of MKS, has retreated that there would be no change in its two-language policy of Tamil and English, which has been in force since 1968 from our times of our previous Chief Minister, Annadurai sir. Tamil Nadu stand high and tall in educational achievement and is mainly due to the strict adherence to the two-language policy only. The people of Tamil Nadu have opposed the imposition of Hindi since 1930s, but the implementation of the two-language policy was come into the effect from 1968 when Peraringer Anna was the Chief Minister in Tamil Nadu. In the last 57 years of Tamil Nadu has achieved a remarkable success in education and is on par with many developed countries in the world. It will take 2 or 3 more decades for other populous states in the country to reach that Tamil Nadu where it has achieved now. Though the NEP says that the third language could only be an Indian language, the state sees it as a ploy to impose Hindi through the back door. The three-language policy of NEP should be disadvantageous to the students from the poor and marginalized population. On February 15th, our Union Minister, Education Minister, has told that states like Tamil Nadu did not implement NEP 2020, OWN gets fund under the Samagra Shiksha scheme. This is not only ridiculous, sir, but it's unconstitutional too. The Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin, sir, has asserted that Tamil Nadu would not succumb to the centre's incessant pressure just to get funds. Tamil Nadu hasn't opposed anyone learning Hindi, but we are only fighting for the imposition of that language. I repeat, yes, sir, Tamil Nadu hasn't opposed anyone learning Hindi, but we are only fighting against the imposition of Hindi. All major political parties in Tamil Nadu, except the BJP, support the continuation of the two-language policy. Therefore, I urge the Union government not to be adamant on the three-language policy and refrain themselves from imposing the Hindi and Sanskrit in Tamil Nadu. Sir, our great Thiruvalluvar has written a separate chapter, Adhigaram, containing 10 couplets about the importance of good education 2000 years ago. I'm just telling a quote in Tamil of Thiruvalluvar. Kedil Vidiselvam, Kalvi Yoruvarku, Madalla Matravayavai. The meaning of this is the wealth which can never decline is not riches, but it's learning. This has to be considered at this time, sir. Education is the richness of the country and each child should get it. So in Tamil Nadu, how the two-language policy has been so well established and we have been competing with the developing countries and our GER rate has been above the national average. So we should consider the two-language policy which would take us globally on the next level. Sir, I urge the Honorable Education Minister to take immediate action to ensure that the funds allocated for Tamil Nadu's education system are released without any further delays. The disbursement of these funds is crucial for the completion of ongoing educational infrastructure projects and the successful implementation of educational reforms in the state. Moreover, the Union government must refrain its commitment to cooperative federalism by ensuring that all states, including Tamil Nadu, receive the financial resources they need to fulfill their educational. This is not just a matter of financial aid, but it is about upholding the constitutional promise of the right to the education of every child in India. Thank you.
Well done, well done. The next speaker, Sri Sanjay Singh, Sir, you have 14 minutes.
धन्यवाद मान
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity to speak on this very important issue. Sir, in the House, we have the Education Minister present. And today, when we are discussing education, it is very important for us to remember Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar. Dr. Ambedkar had said that education is that milk of a tigress. The more a person drinks this, the more louder their voice will be. So, only an educated India can be a developed India. But actually, what is the reality of this Viksit Bharat? Maybe the government has done big announcements in the budget, has made tall claims, but what are the ground realities? Through you, the government as well as the country should know that. Sir, at the outset, I would like to present the data regarding dropouts in the country. 22-23 and 23-24 were the years when in the entire country 54,77,223 students got dropped out from the government schools. 54,77,223 students, and these students were from grade 1 to 8th. If we look into the data regarding Assam, 3,58,075 students got dropped out from government schools. In Gujarat, about which we make tall claims about its development, 1,38,813 students got dropped out from grade 1 to 8th in the government schools there. If you look into the situation in Manipur, 17,991 students have got dropped out from the government schools. In Meghalaya, 65,532 students got dropped out from the government schools. In Rajasthan, 8,99,240 students got dropped out from the government schools. And when we talk about Uttar Pradesh, 7,41,626 students got dropped out from the government schools. Yes, I knew that you will be reminding me about Delhi. So yes, I will talk about Delhi. In Delhi, in the year 2022, 23 and 23, 24 taken together, if you look into the data, it is the data released by the government only, 7,000 students got dropped out from the government schools. Sir, these numbers are highly alarming, very shocking, and they tell us that how the students throughout the country are getting dropped out from the government schools. And I read the data regarding the states which are ruled by the BJP government, and these numbers are really alarming. They should definitely look into it. Then the second issue pertains to the paper leaks. How many such incidents happened in the country? In the past 7 years, there have been 7 such examinations where the papers got leaked. The children give their blood and sweat to prepare for the examination of a constable. They put a lot of hard work to appear in the examination for the clerks, for the PCS, IPS, they put their heart and soul into the preparation, but the papers get leaked. If they have to take admission in the medical field, in the NEET also, the papers get leaked. In the examinations of clerks, constables, also the papers get leaked. So we need a national law, a national policy to curb such incidents. And I would like to read out the number of students who have got affected because of paper leak. The entire house will be shocked to know 1 crore 70 lakh youth have been affected due to the paper leak in the country. And what scam has happened in this? The agencies to which you are giving the contract to organize the examinations in UP, you gave the contract to EDU test for the examination of the constable. Vineet Arya is the founder of this company who has strong connections with the leaders of the BJP, and it was found that 69,000 posts that were there for the constables, the scam happened, and this company was blacklisted. This person did not appear before the investigating agencies, and then the same company was given the contract of holding the examination in Bihar again. So this shows that you do not have any concern about the youth of the country. You only want to benefit your friends. The third data is regarding your various schemes and the scams that have happened regarding them. We should understand that. You started one scheme, SC, ST, OBC children had to be given scholarships under this scheme. And the name of this scheme was Pradhan Mantri Uchchatar Shiksha Protsahan Scheme. Such an elaborate name was given to this scheme. If somebody would read this name, they would feel that the Honorable Prime Minister has taken a very revolutionary step for the children of SC, ST, OBCs. What you have done from high school to postgraduate, engineering, and other streams, so where the students of SC, ST, OBCs are there, you are going to provide scholarships to them. You spent 98 crore rupees in 2022-23. Then you increased it next year, and you said that you will be giving 1,558 crore rupees. 98 crore was spent in 23-24, and then you increased it to 1,558 crores in 24-25, and then you brought a revised budget. This 1558 crore worth of scheme, you reduce the amount to 1,000 crore rupees. And in 24-25, you made it 1,000 crore rupees. So you reduce the budget by 35% for this scheme, which provides scholarship to the children of SC, STs and OBCs. Then another scheme you have is PM Rising India, PM Shri scheme, and you make tall claims about this scheme also. In the PMC scheme in 23-24, you spent 1,215 crore rupees. In 24-25, you allocated 6,050 crore rupees, and then when you increase the allocation, you said that you will be making wonderful schools under this scheme, and you increase the budget to 6,050 crore rupees. And then again you brought the revised budget in 24-25, and you reduced the amount by 1,500 crore rupees, and it became a scheme of 4,500 crore rupees. So about 25% budget was reduced in the PM Shri scheme. And then you brought another scheme, Pradhan Mantri Uchtar Shiksha Abhiyan. Under this scheme, in 23-24, you spent 186 crore rupees. In 24-25, you increased the amount to 815 crore rupees. And then this year only, in 24-25, you brought revised budget under which you reduce the budget by 50% to 920 crore, and for 25-26 the amount of 815 crore rupees that were allocated in 24-25, the same amount was revised for 25-26. So you can see what games you are playing with the education sector. You earmark one budget and then you revise it and then you announce it the next year. So this is really something which should not be done with the education of the country. And another thing that is being discussed in the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan in 23-24, you spent 62,830 crore rupees, and then you increased it to 37,500 crore rupees, and then again you brought the revised budget. Every time you bring the revised budget,
you have reduced 490 crore rupees from this budget, which is around 10% of the budget allocation. Now we come to 25-26. In this scheme, you have laid down 41,500 crore rupees of budget. Midday meal, Pradhan Mantri Poshan Shakti Nirman. This is such a heavy term given to this scheme, and the person feels that the moment you will hear the name of the scheme, you will be filled with energy. And listen to the reality of this scheme. Under this scheme, you have given 8,458 crore rupees in 23-24, and in 24-25 you have increased it up to 12,468 crore rupees, and in this year, in 24-5, you have come up with the revised budget, and you have reduced the budget from 2,600 crore rupees. You have reduced the budget of midday meal. You should be ashamed of yourself, as you are not even giving complete budget to the midday meal scheme. I would like to tell you, honorable member, that today the way you are playing with the education system of this country and toying around with the education system, and everyone is talking about Aurangzeb in the country, and I know that the cruel Mughal administrators have been in the India, but along with that, Britishers have made bondage out of the Indians for around 200 years, and who were responsible for the Jallianwala Bagh incident, and who had given capital punishment to Shahid Rajendra Guru and Shahid Bhagat Singh and Shahid Khudiram Bose and Shahid Bismillah. Those who are responsible for their death, those Britishers should also be taught about in the history textbooks, because if you are going to talk about it, then you will also have to tell about which was the institution who has revolted against the British, and which was the institution whose leader has written a letter to the British governor that this revolution should be trampled down, and the history of India should be taught to the youth of the country, that who were the leaders who had protested against the revolutionaries, and in 3 they have deliberately made the government along with 3 states of our country. And it would be easy to know about the cruelty of the Mughal administrators, and we will be able to know about those leaders who had supported the Britishers. And thank you, Honorable Deputy Chairman. You have given me the chance to speak on this.
Gola Babu Rao. Sri Gola Babu Rao.
Thank you very much, Vice Chairman.
You
sir.
have 10 minutes.
At the outset, I thank our Honorable former Chief Minister, Sri Jagan Mohan Reddy ji, to give me to speak on this Department of Education. In fact, when I speak the Department of Education, every human being wants basic two needs. One is primary health. Second one is primary education. Okay, let us discuss the education part. The education part, when you see, for any human being, not only in India, in the entire world, the primary teacher to the child is the mother. Primary teacher, whatever they taught, will be having a lot of impact in the so many years to come. For example, Jijia Bai has given a wonderful subject to the Chhatrapati Shivaji. Because of that, his mother, he became that much powerful warrior in the Deccan field. In the same way, I want to impress upon the August House, the primary education really doesn't have universalization. Now, as per new educational policy, which aims at the universalization of education, 100% literacy, new innovations, holistic development of the entire student and the teachers in India. But somehow they may have achieved some good results, but there are so many changes that has to emerge in the new education policy, at least in the future. Coming to most important primary education, as far as my knowledge is concerned, unfortunately, the privatization of the primary education and the secondary education is much. Even not only in Andhra Pradesh, in entire India. How can you expect a poor man to send their children to the private schools, spending thousands and lakhs of rupees? Is it possible in India? What I want the Honorable, the Education Minister to think of this most important problem. What I want is really not only to send their children, they are selling the lands, they are selling the ornaments, they are borrowing thousands of rupees from their relatives and others. Ultimately, whether they come up in the life or not is God knows. But this is the pathetic situation going in our rural area more particularly, and even in urban areas also. What I want is the primary education strengthening is most important. If the government wants the government schools, my Jilla Parishad high schools and elementary schools should be strengthened. Otherwise, we cannot achieve this universalization of the education. Our BJP government wants the Vikasit Bharat by 2047. How can they achieve? This type of plight is going on in India. What I want to impress upon the August House is, let us take stringent steps to curb the privatization in secondary and primary levels. Now, you coming to the secondary level, I will tell you my own example. When I want to study the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th class, you know how to go for even at least 10 miles in Andhra Pradesh, in a state like Andhra Pradesh. Now, how many people can go There are no schools even till today. There are no even good teachers. No teacher and student ratio is being followed. What I want is, for that purpose only, our Honorable the Chief Minister, the former Chief Minister, took up a lot of wonderful and magnetic programs. Vidya Divina, Vidya Kanuka, Vidya Vasati. He has spent 73,000 crores for the secondary and primary education. You may not know, but now 45,000 elementary and secondary schools were really developed, like the Nandana Manas. Now in many states, our AP policy has borrowed and they must have implemented in other states also. What I want is the understanding of the education system. Now coming to the collegiate education. Collegiate education, unfortunately, the so-called the college managements have become only degree issuing authorities. Degree issuing authorities. No standards, no teachers, no even curriculum maintenance. These type of plight should be stopped. What I want, please, I want the Honorable, the Education Minister to note these points. I am telling from my own side, and the entire rural India, so many lakhs and crores of poor people are suffering. Now what I want to impress upon this, even collegiate education should be strengthened. If college education is not strengthened, entire students will become unemployed. They may become a waste material to the society, to the families also. So many people are becoming vagabonds. They are unable to achieve anything in the life. They cannot do anything in the rural areas or the urban areas. That's why even for even university education also, the university education, I want to really request the Honorable, the Education Minister, to give a direction to the UGC, University Grants Commission. What is doing? The University Grants Commission, what is doing so far? I want to question how they are developing the collegiate education and university education. Their role is not even seen anywhere. And I have seen in my Andhra Pradesh, even as an officer. For example, I tell you, sir, for my sake, I got only 3rd class in BCom. I did not get a seat in entire Andhra Pradesh. I went to Madhya Pradesh, Jabalpur. I think somebody may be from Jabalpur. I studied my post-graduation in Jabalpur, in Madhya Pradesh. After that, because of my strenuous, my efforts, my father's effort, my mother's effort, we could at least achieve the Group 1 services. Of course, I became just an officer for 25 years. What I want is, this is the education system is a basic need to strengthen the entire our Indian society. Even not only the society, mankind as a whole. Even from one side, I cannot blame completely the technical education side. There are so many improvements. IITs are there, NITs are there, IIMs are there. Their standards are very good. But whereas I am very, very concerned about social sciences. Social sciences are completely neglected in not only in Andhra Pradesh, in entire India. I can say what my wish is to a man who studied economics should become just economist. History, the man who studied history should become historian. A man who studied commerce should become a CA. Just that type of serious education should be imparted in especially collegiate education and PG level. PG level, they are all our teachers. Lecturers are there, readers are there, professors are there. Their salaries are more than 3-4 lakhs. But they are teaching only 2-3 hours in a week. That is the great contribution they are doing. In my Andhra, I don't know about other states, but in my state. That's why our Honorable former Chief Minister has taken a very stringent steps to develop the medical education, engineering education, and IIM. So many. He has given a topmost priority item for the education sector. That's why, sir, one more minute. I will end. I want the Honorable Education Minister and Honorable Prime Minister to now 1,28,000 crores of rupees are allotted to education. What I want is equal results should be brought, that equity should be brought among all castes, all religions, all areas. That's why, so that they can achieve the Vikasit Bharat by 2047. The opportunity given to me is very valuable, and thank you so much.
The next speaker, Sri Niranjan Bishi. Sir, you have 10 minutes. Not present. The next speaker is Sri Manoj Kumar Jha. Sir, you have 7 minutes.
Yeah, thank you. Vanakkam, Honorable Vice Chairman, sir. माननीय दो भूमिकाओं में खड़ा.
Honorable Vice Chairman, sir, I am standing here as a stakeholder in the Parliament and as a teacher. I will not make any taunt, but I will tell you the relativity of it all. The most important question that has come to my mind, that how can I speak in Hindi, which does not have Urdu words, and how can I bring the Urdu language, which does not have Hindi words. So the words, there are several things going on right now. We have been brought up by studying Sangam literature. So I'm just giving you the opening remarks. On the struggle of language, we have lost a lot of things. This country has been built upon equal-sized bricks, and the moment you start mapping the size of the bricks, the entire building will fall down. Whether it's English, Sanskrit, Maithili, Bhojpuri, Hindi, languages are not promoted through the government, but when people speak it, that's when they get promoted. And Hindi language has been promoted due to several reasons. By Hindi language has not been promoted by celebrating Pakhwada. This was my first point. But what can I say? So these are the circumstances these days in several things. I believe that Shri Digvijay Singh, who is my senior, he has drawn a bigger line, and I will not repeat those things. I'm just concerned, before I talk about the reality of education policy, but in this parliament, but extensive discussion has not taken place on new education policy. Is it correct? Is it fair to not include the discussions? And I will leave it to the prudence of the government and that of the parliament. So in this entire document, there is a lot of mismatch. The patterns of the pedagogy and the mismatch with the languages and the pedagogy. And I will just explore the language. Sir, that till class 5, education should be provided in mother tongue. But we will remember Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar. Whatever was the truth at that time, it still exists. English is the language for socio and economic mobility, and we should also clear our perspective towards it. Languages are not anyone's property, and languages get promoted and they enrich our lives. Now, they were talking about doubling the gross enrollment ratio, and I believe that according to the statistics, if we were to achieve that, then every week for 15 years, we'll have to open new universities. Now, I'll come to an important point, and on this topic, possibly I have spoken a lot of times. One thing is NFS. This is a new way to finding a club where that none found suitable, and the committee is saying that
उन्होंने कहा जो
the committee has said that the stereotypical response that is given that suitable candidates were not found. This is entirely wrong, and committee said that this is not acceptable, and this also implements applies to the OBC and SC/ST recruitment. Sir, I would request that this thing will engulf everything, and this thing is wearing a modern dress, otherwise it will be difficult for everyone. Sir, Gujarat is a enriched state, and post-independence, everyone has worked for the welfare of the state, and our state, which is a backward state, and today both Gujarat and Bihar, they lie in the same category, and this category is enrollment in higher education, wherein we states like Bihar, Gujarat, and Assam, we are brothers in here. This is a matter of concern that I have spoken about it, and Niti Aayog has some important comments on this. I will take a few minutes for that.
extra if it is. So
So the priorities should be clear, be it any government. What do you expect from education? The one you talked about, as Madam Ritabrata talked, that should be our ideal. And I think that in the public schools, but first I would like to quote about myself. I have studied from a Hindi medium school till class 10th. For the first time, I got acquaintance with English in class 11th. It was tough, but at that time the schools were different, the government schools were different, but when I go to that same school today, it is very different now. I am not against the private sector, but one balance should be struck between these two. Other places have given value to the public system. I would this is not unparliamentary, I think, if I use the word damad, that is maybe son-in-law or any relative. The coaching institutes are flourishing. Many a times we see the changes in the curriculum, and children are turned into guinea pigs. In DU also, the system of enrollment has changed, but nowadays it is witnessed that from class 8, 9 onwards, students get enrolled in the coaching system. I would like to take only one more minute. The educational institutions have become war places of ideologies. Ghanshyamji said one thing, I would not comment as such, but the trend towards leftist, I find no merit in their thinking. You are eradicating many things. You are even removing eligibility like PhD. Even then you are not getting the candidates. And I would like to say one thing, that independence of teachers have gone down. I can say many things regarding appointment of teachers. I know how the teachers are being victimized, and just on the basis of SEZs, knowledge parks are being made. You should think that there is a difference between education and industry. It is not only for investment, because earlier it was called human resource development. Now the nomenclature has changed, but that indication should be there. You naturally go towards centralization. Whenever the new regime comes, it thinks that it should encroach upon all the territories. These are the systems. For example, in NAC, I can say that I saw one knack in my university. It is such as if when you go to any family function and gifts are exchanged, and despite being disparity there, it gets an A plus or A accreditation. I would like to say that the being an education minister or a rail minister, both are tough. I can say that this policy would have its effect later on also, even when you will not be in the government. So we should come up with a system wherein the voices should not be stifled. There is a definition of democracy. True democracy is one where you are not closed for being open. I will take only 30 seconds more, sir. As Sanjay ji said, I would not like to be in the debates. I am a student of history. Whenever there would be talks on Mughal reign and other rulers, but today I would like to comment on one thing, that when you read the pages of history and we try to lay curtains on today's challenges, then those heroes would not help you in solving these challenges. So it's not uniform there. So if you try to glorify the murderers of Mahatma Gandhi, then this is not appreciable. Sir, please conclude. It is dedicated to them. Those who have said a few words, all look after my interest, and nobody is mine, and I also live in this country like an Urdu.
Shri Javed Ali Khan. Sir, you have 3 minutes, sir.
धन्यवाद सभा.
Thank you, as Chairman, sir. Time is limited, so I would not like to say my things in the garb of speech and would not talk any extrapolated things. The NEP 2020, since the time it came into effect, and it was said regarding this policy that as was expected that comprehensive discussion and deliberation would take place. It did not happen. When the draft came up, that was of 500 odd pages, the comments were sought from people. But when finally it was made, that was 60 page long, then the education experts were not consulted, states were not consulted, and there is one institution here which is very old, CABE, that is Central Advisory Board of Education, which time to time used to sit, but before this policy, there was no such meeting, and not even after it was framed. Regarding the language, regarding the appointment process, all these are still to be resolved, and UGC in higher education had to come up with 3 dozen regulations later on which were contradictory to each other. In higher education, what we see is there was a commission that was to be set up which would entail bringing all the higher institutions together. A draft was circulated beforehand, but we don't know what the progress is in that regard. We have talked about that in many budgets, that we should invest 6% of the GDP in education. But sir, we are not able to spend even 2.7%. So the commitment that was made regarding 6%, what is the progress in that regard? Honorable Minister must state that. The central universities and the central institutions that are there, those are in pitiable conditions, and the teaching and the teachers' posts are lying vacant in different institutions, which have a direct effect on reservation. SC, ST, OBC reservation are not given properly to fill up the vacancies. 9% SC, 14% OBCs vacancies are there in the central institutions. The most favorite category of our government, that was economically weaker section, we have not been able to exhaust the full quota. Now I would like to talk about school education. The situation of primary education is such that those get a dropout from the government schools. They leave the government schools and go to other schools. We see that the government schools are getting closed and private schools are increasing, and the students are also going towards that, and numbers are increasing in those schools. I would like to talk about the main reason why they are drifting towards the private schools, because the teachers who teach in the schools, in the government schools, they have to do multiple works apart from teaching. They have to do the duties of BLO, election. They have to supervise whether the ration is being distributed properly or not. They have to supervise for the board exams and other exams. They have to certify the ration cards. They have to supervise the midday meals. They have to go for census. They have to go for children census also, for plantation also. So they have to do multiple works. These are the works that have been assigned to the school teachers. So when can they actually teach? So I would like to talk about the PM Potion scheme. Today, as we call it, midday meal that we said earlier, we spent 6 rupees every student. Till December, it was 4 rupees 97 paise, and those who are the cook in that, we pay only rupees 2,000 as their salaries, as this is being given to them as honorarium. We don't pay salaries, we pay honorarium. They work and they make food for 50 students, and yet they are paid this meager amount. They also have to work as sanitation workers there. So I would like to request and demand, Honorable Minister, that the women who cook there, their salary should be increased. They should at least be paid rupees 10,000. And I would like to talk about PM Shri schools. I would like to share my own experience, Honorable Minister. In my district, the high officer said that solarization has to be done under the scheme. Please, where is this solar lights? Water plants had to be constructed. This program is on the name of Honorable PM. So why are they asking funds from them? The government should have done this on priority basis. So the education, it seems, is halfway. So it would be great if you take education seriously, and the education policy should be implemented in true sense.
Srimati Ramila Ben Becharbai Bara. Gujarati.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chairman, sir. This is a matter of great delight that I have got an opportunity to speak in this august house, and Honorable Finance Minister has escalated the status of women of this country, and she has presented a wonderful budget before this August House. And in this budget, special provisions have been made for education. These provisions are really welcoming, and I would like to present my views regarding these provisions in education. This is a revolutionary budget, and I thank Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Bhai Modi for for giving us guidance, and I also congratulate Honorable Finance Minister for presenting our budget. In the budget, a comprehensive development scheme has been proposed. Provisions regarding development in the field of education have been proposed. And since 2014, Honorable Modi ji is leading this country. And since then, we have seen development in our country. We have seen changes in our country. Every year, we see enhancement in allocation in budget under various heads. And due to this, the last person, the most deprived person of our country is getting education. The child who is in the remotest area of our country is getting the benefit of education. Honorable Sir, all of us know that without education, a man is like an animal. Life without education is useless. Our country became independent, and the constitution was proposed by Honorable Baba Sahib Ambedkar, and he had said that everybody should get education, and all the educationists also said that every person of our country should get education. But after independence, the people who were in power, they were just interested in making money, and they forgot the benefit, they forgot the upliftment of the last person of the country. I come from a very backward community. I am a tribal, and nothing was done for these backward communities, but it is our good fortune. And since 2014, when Narendra Bhai Modi became the Prime Minister of our country, he brought about a lot of change in the scenario of our country. He started the scheme Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao. He gave this aphorism: let girls be educated. When he was Chief Minister of Gujarat, he went with the Kanya Kelavani Rath, that is women education chariot, and he asked alms from the people. What did he ask for? He said, I do not want money, but what I want is that you educate your girl child. And the society of Gujarat accepted it, and women education became quite relevant in Gujarat. Today in Gujarat, nobody is illiterate. Honorable Digvijay Singh had said today that the dropout ratio is increasing. He said that the figures of illiterate people, the number of illiterate people is increasing. But if you see the history, you will see what was the literacy rate. Children did not go to schools, and when children did not go to schools, what you will think about the literacy rate? You cannot say anything about it. In tribal areas, in backward areas, we did not have proper school facilities, proper education facilities. Even if you had some schools in these areas, you did not have children who went to these schools. And even if you found some students, you will not have teachers. You did not have teachers who could impart education to teachers. Many members were speaking about many things, but I would request them to think about the condition which was in the past. We did not have children who could go to schools. We did not have infrastructure for schools. We did not have teachers. So today, the scenario is completely different. The new education policy has been proposed by the government, and Honorable Prime Minister is laying emphasis on the implementation of this policy. A special provision has been made to implement this policy, to strengthen the base of education in our country, and skill development has also been emphasized upon in the new education policy. So Honorable Prime Minister has seen the contemporary scenario, and he wants our youth to grow in this scenario. Today the time is demanding that skill development is a must, and henceforth the provision for education in the budget for 25-26, 2 crore students, 2 crore youth will be given training in skill development. Henceforth, the contemporary situation will be taken care of, and when we are talking about unemployment, when we're talking about jobs, I would like to say that the opposition does not have a right to say this. They have never taken care about the youth of our country. Today we are seeing that in the rural areas, there is a great discrepancy in the level of education in the rural areas and urban areas. And this gap has never been filled, but very strong attempts are being made to bridge this gap and bring education of rural areas and urban areas at par. And in the budget in the present budget, 10,000 classes will be made smart classes. And in addition to this, to foster scientific temperament amongst the students of villages and cities, there has been a provision to start laboratories in rural areas, robotics, 3D printing, and technological aspects will be made available in these laboratories, so that our rural students can also gain education at par with the urban areas. The one who is suffering from typhoid will always see everything pale yellow. See, I would like to talk about the rural Gujarat. From Ambaji to Umbergaon, the population is about 1 crore. And in the olden days, there was no facility for education. But when Narendra Bhai Modi became the Chief Minister of Gujarat, and then we have now we have a double-engine government, and you can see the change. During the time of Congress, we had only 13 universities, but now we have 105 universities, and this is a matter of great pride for us. In the tribal areas, tribal universities have been established. In tribal areas, we have science colleges. In tribal areas, we have medical colleges now. But in the olden days, we could never think about medical colleges or science colleges there. We had only 50 medical seats in the olden days, but now we have many medical colleges and a lot of seats, and students had to go abroad to gain medical education. But now medical education is available in our country. Today, we have about 6,500 seats to get medical education. Not only this, in every district, medical colleges will be opened, and this is the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable Sir, we will be having 75,000 medical colleges, and after that, our youth will not have to go abroad to seek medical education. Our country is going to be benefited with these medical colleges. Sir, after 500 new ITIs will be opened. We were talking about IIIT, and since 2014, we have the Modi government, and 8 IIITs have been established. And the older IITs have been upgraded, and 6 new IITs have been established, and henceforth the skill development of the youth is being taken care of. Now Gujarat has become the hub of education. We have a double engine government in Gujarat. People all over the world come to Gujarat to study. We have Kamadhenu University in Gujarat. We have Sanskrit University in Gujarat. We have Children's University in Gujarat. We have Forensic Laboratory University in Gujarat. We have Gatishil University in Gujarat, Vibrant University in Gujarat. Honorable Railway Minister said yesterday that for technical university also have been established. We have a railway university in Gujarat. Not only this, last time Honorable Modi ji talked, we are talking about leadership skills, we are talking about cultural values. So a school of ultimate leadership was proposed by Narendra Bhai Modi, and this, because of this, our youth will become cultured, and the leadership skills will be developed among the youth of Gujarat. Along with this, in Gujarat, new initiatives pertaining to education have been taken. And Honorable Sir, I would like to say that I come from a tribal area, and a lot of things have been done in the field of education. From Amirgarh to Umargaon, we have a tribal belt where tribals reside. In the olden days, nobody sent girl children to schools, but after the hard work put in by Shri Narendra Bhai Modi, girl children are going to schools, and with the lot of efforts made by BJP government, girl children are not only doing jobs, but they are acquiring very high positions. They are becoming pilots, they are becoming police officers. So I would like to say one incident. Honorable Prime Minister has a lot of concern for SC, STs and backward people. Whenever Honorable Prime Minister visits some rural areas, and when a helicopter is flying in these rural areas, people come to see this helicopter, youth come to see this helicopters, and when Narendra Bhai sees these youth, he says that I want these children to fly the helicopters, I want these tribal youth to fly helicopters, I want them to become pilots, and hence he has made a provision for this, and due to this, many youth from SC, STs and backward communities have become pilots. In addition to this, with the farsightedness of the Bharatiya Janata Party, 105 Eklavya model schools, Eklavya girls literacy residential schools, model schools, about 35,763 students, that is girl and boy children, are getting residential education from these schools. And in addition to this, Honorable Sir, I want to draw your attention towards the achievements in the last year. Amongst the pass outs from last year, 26 have gone to medical field, MBBS, many students have gone to BHMS, 3 students have gone to BAMS, 3 to BDS, 32 to pharmacy, 94 to BE, and 294 children are taking education in the field of nursing. So this is a comprehensive development in the tribal areas. Not only this, Samras hostels have been established, and they are functional so that students from the entire society come there, study together, they carry out the discussions, and let the entire society grow. So this is the ideology of Narendra Bhai Modi. The future of a country depends on its education policy, and Narendra Bhai has realized, and he is working upon this. Whatever is being done by the government is really praiseworthy, and a lot of emphasis has been made on giving education through mother tongue. Today we see the UPSC results, and we also see the results of various competitive examinations, and we can see that because of the emphasis on mother tongue, children have gained a lot of confidence, and you can see that they are giving better results, they are achieving better targets, and due to this they are doing well in competitive examinations. All these is really very, very great, and it is unprecedented. Honorable Sir, skill development has been emphasized upon in the new education policy, and infrastructure development has also been emphasized in new education policy. Great work is being done in Gujarat and all across the country. And at last, I would like to say that we should rise above the party lines, and we should think about 2047 developed India. We should respect the sentiments of Narendra Bhai Modi, and we should help him in achieving his target. And let us work together so that all the children of our country become educated. And because education is such that it cannot be divided amongst anyone. Even thieves cannot steal away education. A king cannot levy tax on education. This education gets enhanced as you use it. So more and more education should be imparted. Once you impart more and more education, it will keep on increasing and it will spread in the society. All the children who have been deprived of education from poor families should get education. And our Honorable Prime Minister and our Honorable Minister of Education are working in this regard. Let us appreciate the new education policy, and let us cooperate with the government of India, and let us do all possible so that all the children of our country get education. Jai Jai Garvi Gujarat. Thank you very much, sir.
इमरान प्रताप गढ़ी, 6 मिनट आपके पास.
You have 6 minutes.
Mike, धन्यवाद सभा.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. भूख के एहसास को शेरो सुखन तक ले चलो, यह गज़ल को मुखमिलों की अंजुलम तक दे चलो, मुझमो ज़ब्तो की तालीम देना बाद में, पहले इसे ले चलो. Deputy Chairman, sir, I stand here to talk about the new education policy. Honorable Minister is present here. New education policy says that our emphasis should be on teachers' training. But the national sample surveys data say that 13% of the teachers are there in the country who are trained. So I want to know from the Honorable Minister that the 87% of the teachers who needs to be imparted this training, what roadmap do we have to impart that training to them? And do we have colleges on such a big scale and resources so that we can train them? Our new education policy says that technology should be emphasized, and we saw it during COVID how students were made to learn through technology. But I would like to ask the Honorable Minister, when 80 crore people were surviving on 5 kg of ration in this country, so can we make computer, internet and laptop to those families so that their children could be educated? I also want to say something very important here, sir, that the madrasa education, that pattern which relates to the minority community, I want to ask this very seriously, that the new education policy, some madrasas are there which are recognized by the government, but some bigger institutions like Nagma and Devband, whether this new education policy in its context, have you ever established a dialogue with these institutions? Do you have any plan regarding that? This is what I want to ask. And another important thing that I want to ask, sir, is that a lot of minority institutes were there where they had this provision of providing scholarships, but you just shut down this Maulana Azad scholarship. thousands and lakhs of children were attaining their education through this scholarship. On one hand, you say Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. On one hand, you have computer, and then in the other, you have Quran. The people and the children coming from disadvantageous and deprived societies, what plan do you have to take them forward in this direction of education? I want to ask the Honorable Education Minister that all across the country, all across the globe, he goes and pays his regards in front of the statue of Mahatma Gandhi. But your government in NIT Calicut, your government makes Professor Shalja Inayat the dean of a particular department, who says that Nathuram Godse was a great personality. So where is this policy and mindset going? Sir, I want to say through you that how NCERT books, how they are serving communal sentiments. Is this in your constitution that Kendriya Hindi Sansthan and NIPA, it has been said that while writing in Devanagari, the nuktas that were used earlier, which come from Urdu, that has been stopped because no new published books have those nuktas. I had a talk with people who publish NCERT books. They told me that this is an order by the higher-ups. So I want to know from you that by removing this nukta, are you strengthening this Devanagari script or making it further weakened? This is my request to you, and this is what I want to know you from. Sir, PM Shri Vidyalaya was talked about. I want to know from you that Ghazipur is a district in UP. Veer Hamid Vidyalaya is there in a village. The name of that school was changed, and communality was being served there through this. And then when it was raised, the education officer there changed it back to that school, and through this scheme, this is what you are trying to reflect, sir, and I want to bring it to your cognizance. And to stop this, what will you do? Sir, the NCERT books, from them, Hindu-Muslim unity, the chapters based on that are being removed. NCERT imparts education to children, and to make them learn this new history, you are misleading the young children and you are making them read a wrongful history. Will these children sustain in future? I want to ask the Honorable Minister that religion and education should stay different from each other. Another important thing, sir, I would like to highlight that in Delhi University, the changes in curriculum that have been brought, in which Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Mohan Ram Iqbal, and the research papers have been removed from political science. Sukit Rana has been removed from English syllabus. Does he know about this? My time is very less. I want to know from the Honorable Minister on this NEP that in the name of this change, the new things that have been brought in by you and the kind of hooliganism that is there in campuses. Honorable Member just mentioned JNU, that sloganeering was there. Some masked people come, shout slogans, and then police for years is not able to look for them. And to defame such reputed institutions, the ways that are being used is very shameless. In the last few days, a woman was also attacked. She was lathi charged, and police has not been able to look for the culprits till date. And in Jamia also, there was a lathi charge. In Aligarh Muslim Vishwavidyalaya, the parliamentarians there, the kind of language they use is very shameful. Honorable Member, through Honorable Minister, I want to ask from the government the new changes that you are trying to bring in the name of changes. You please do not clean the rivers, but do not let them get dirtier. They will be cleaned. you please do not plant new trees. Just stop this deforestation thing and new plants will be there. I want to tell you, do not deliver speeches to establish peace. Just stop spreading this hate and do not write long articles. Just stop spreading hatred. The new education policy, the way the disadvantaged people and deprived people, they are being thrown away from education, that is very shameful, and education is being privatized, that is very shameful, sir. The Honorable Minister should think about it, and attempts and efforts should be made into this direction, and I don't think there will be a better suggestion than this. Thank you. So just now, Imran Pratapgarhi ji made a mention of a member of parliament. He should authenticate that. He has already authenticated. He made a mention of a member of parliament. He has authenticated. Thank you. Srimati Mausambi Noor.
Sir, on behalf of All India Trinamool Congress, I thank you for allowing this discussion on the Education Ministry. But what a shame. Yesterday, the Education Minister called the people of a state uncivilized. He should tender an apology on the floor of the House. Also, sir, I appeal to you to allow discussion on the important issue of duplicate electors' photo identity cards. A serious matter to enable free and fair elections.
Mausam Noor ji is speaking and there is a crosstalk.
Let me give you one example on education itself to show you that it's empty slogan, a jumla, another hollow promise by the BJP, which is running a shaky coalition since the BJP is 32 seats short of the majority. The Samagra Shiksha scheme, which follows a 60-40 fund sharing ratio between the union and the state. Despite West Bengal being one of the best performing states in implementing this program, the union government has failed to release the fund it owes us. In the financial year 23-24, union was supposed to allocate 1,746 crores to West Bengal. However, only 311 crore has been released so far, less than 18% of the total funds due. The Bangla Birodhi mindset is deep-rooted in their minds. Even after repeated communication and letter from the state government, the union government did not release a single penny owed to the state of West Bengal. In fact, what it did was stop all funding even in the financial year 2024. We, the All India Trinamool Congress, are standing strong by our ideology of Ma Mati Manush by not only releasing 40% of the state share regularly, but releasing an additional amount as well. This amount is paid to ensure that wages and salaries are given on time to the Samagra Shiksha employees, composite grants to the schools, and other student-centric incentives are not stopped. The union government's failure to release funds approved by the Ministry of Finance for West Bengal is an act of depriving the state's people. This violates the right for education. Hence, I ask you here in this house, why do you deprive Bengal? You can't beat us, so you deprive us. Or is it because we don't accept the name PM Shri for a scheme where the state is contributing 40% of the funds? Sir, the Samagra Shiksha guidelines do not mention signing the MOU for PM Shri as a prerequisite for fund release. Withholding funds on these premises is anti-federal and undemocratic. It is depriving the people of Bengal of their rightful dues. Moreover, several other demands from the government of West Bengal have been made, but none have been addressed by the union government, be it regarding midday meal schemes, or increasing their allocation per student, or increasing financial support for midday meal cooks. However, on the other hand, we believe in development for all. As a result, about 230,000 cook-cum helpers are given rupees 1,000 per month for 10 months in a year. Further, the state government on its own is also providing additional rupees 500 per month as an honorarium to each cook cum helper. Whereas you don't even address the demand to construct dining halls, kitchen sheds, and providing flexi funds. In every manner, you have been anti-Bengal. A testimony to that is the fund for infrastructure and R&D of universities and colleges have been discontinued for the last few years. In fact, the new scheme of Rashtriya Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan that has a funding pattern of 60:40 between the union and the state has been renamed as Pradhan Mantri Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan. Why, sir? Why? Why Pradhan Mantri everywhere? Even in this scheme, the union owes rupees 170 crores to the state of West Bengal. Sir, the government speaks a lot on education. However, when the budget comes, the union government is spending only 0.37% of the GDP in education in this year. Whereas, look at West Bengal. Look at our education model. We are spending more than 2% of our GSDP on education. Sir, the state of education in the country is so bad that 1 out of 2 students in grade 8 cannot do basic division. The P-metric scholarship between 2018 and 19 and 2023 was decreased by 94%. Under PMKVY,
Honorable Member, please conclude now.
trained candidates were placed. In fact, the placements were delinked from the 4th phase. Only 4 out of 10 youth in the workforce possesses formal skills and 1 in 3 youth are neither in education, employment, nor training, with women making 95% of this group. Sir, I would suggest our education minister to come to Bengal. See and learn from Mamta Di's education model. After all, the world is learning from Bengal. Kanya Shri has been recognized by the United Nations. We have other schemes like Oikoshri, Shikkashri, Medhashri, and Shobut Shati, which has made the lives of students much easier. Hence, I say, leave this Bengal Birodhi mindset and learn from Bengal. Thank you, sir.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you.
माननीय सदस्य,
Honorable Member, I would like to make a request to all the honorable members that this is a rule that you cannot give a written speech. I would like to bring this to your attention that under parliamentary conventions, you cannot read out from a prepared text. We can always quote something.
Deve Gowda, sir.
Sir, with your kind permission, I would like to speak by sitting because I am unable to stand, as you know.
आप बैठे-बैठे बोलिए आराम से.
Sir, when the house was the business was started exactly after the question hour, I was watching, sitting in my house, because my health was unable to sit here for the whole day. Former Chief Minister Digvijay Singh, he was speaking. Then your good self was from this side, spoke. I heard all the speeches, barring 1 or 2 speeches I missed. Sir, I don't want to criticize on the issues raised by several members. I am only say a few words. Education is a concurrent subject. The responsibility of both the state and the center is now they should see that there should not be any controversy on this issue, whether appointment of the vice chancellors. I don't want to raise that issue because what is going on in some states, not only in Karnataka, in several states, appointment of governors was one of the major controversies. That is where I draw the attention of the Honorable Education Minister to see this type of controversies should not be allowed to continue. I only appeal to your good self to see some remedy should be there to solve this controversy. Sir, now I confine myself to Karnataka, sir. Sir, the private institutions in Karnataka, my senior colleague, Ramesh, sitting there on the other side. There are 30 universities in Karnataka. Now, the private institutions in Karnataka is playing a very major role so far as providing the education starting from primary education to medical education, engineering, in all aspects. 30 private institutions are there. I don't want to recall what has happened. Deemed university, when it has started, how it has started, I don't want to go in depth how it has started, the deemed universities in those days. It hurts the feelings of some members if I talked in detail about the deemed university. Sir, during that period, Karnataka is able to get the recognition. That's why I said 30 universities are there in Karnataka or doing their best to provide education to all communities, all sections of the society. They are providing education. There is no discrimination. That is one thing which everybody has to appreciate. Sir, coming to the point, when Karnataka was ruled by the late Maharaja Krishraj Udair, the Mysore University was started about 100 years back. And Dharwad University, why I refer this to Ramesh should not mistake, is a senior colleague from Congress. He is a good friend of mine. Sir, now what is the position?
जयराम जी आपको
There is no,
आपको कहना
there is, sir, there is no money to pay this salary. University which has been started about 100 years back, there is no money by the state government to provide salary. That is the position. Sir, just I will give a brief note. The university was established in 1916 as the sixth oldest university in the country. The university has made a significant contribution in the field of higher education by providing quality education. During Professor Rangappa, outstanding leadership and efficient regime between 2013 and 17, the university not only celebrated the centenary but also witnessed several memorable events. For instance, the President of India inaugurated the centenary year in 1916 and 2016. July 2015, and the Honorable Prime Minister was graciously enough to inaugurate the Indian Science Congress in January 2016. Narendra Modi ji was the person who was inaugurated, where I was present. Sir, during the Science Congress session, in many, as 10 Nobel laureates from across the world visited the university and delivered lectures. The subject of their expertise, apart from other credentials, Professor Rangappa is also fellow of the World Academy of Science and is one of the renowned scientists in the country. Sir, in fact, he was instrumental in upgrading the physical facilities of University of Mysore. It is very disappointing, distressing that the University of Mysore, alongside Karnataka University of Dharwad, established in 2049, have been suffering from indifference and carelessness of the state government. It is worrisome that many, as 379, more than 65% of the facilities, faculties sanctioned, teaching posts are vacant for quite some time. The stalemate of the university is impacted both teaching and research. The two old universities was University of Mysore, Karnataka, University of Dharwad, need substantial grants from the center. I hope the Honorable Education Minister is here. Please take note of that. Don't allow these two universities unless and until your responsibility, as I already mentioned, concurrent subject. You must see that sufficient grant should be given without mixing politics. I hope and trust my request will be considered by the central government, because Modi ji has come, the President of India has come on two occasions, which I have already mentioned. Sir, the one more thing which I have said is our honorable leader, he mentioned about what the union government has done, Modi's government, because he said 1.1 lakh medical seats. It is the leader of the house who is holding the medical education on the portfolio. He mentioned that UG and PG medical seats over the past decade, adding nearly 1.1 lakh seats, and also medical colleges in coming years with a long-term goal of adding 75,000 seats in the next 5 years. Sir, this is one of the major steps taken by the union government and the minister, who is also the leader of this house, Mr. Narda ji. He mentioned this on the floor of the house. Sir, I congratulate the Honorable, the leader of the house, and also holding the medical education portfolio. Sir, I don't want to take much time. I only appeal. I was a teacher before joining politics. I was a school teacher. I know the problem of the rural, the schools. Sorry, anybody should not mistake me. As Chief Minister, I appointed 1,56,000 lady teachers at one step. 1,56,000. First time, woman reservation. Now, Nari Shakti, we talked. At that time, there is no reservation. 1,56,000 women teachers I appointed when I was the Chief Minister. I don't want to mention what all I have done. I can quote several instances about women reservation, all this. Sir, only as an elderly man, I am 92, I can speak what I have done. My friend is sitting here. I only request the union government, because Karnataka government's position I just not for criticism. No, such two institutions, prestigious institutions, there are no resources to pay salary. The union government should see, without mixing politics, whatever there is burden that will come, you must shoulder that burden and see that the institution should be saved. With these words, I
बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय देवगौड़ा साहब.
Thank
you so much.
Honorable Chairman, for giving me an opportunity.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
आपकी सारी बातें उन्होंने
All things have been noted down by the Honorable Minister. Now Praful Patel ji, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. Vice Chairman, sir. Today, there's a discussion going on about the Ministry of HRD and Education policy is being discussed here. And we must all compliment our journey since independence to today as to how education in our country has evolved. And not only evolved, but has shaped the destiny of our country till now and will be the most important factor as we go along in our onward march. And I also would like to compliment the government and especially the Prime Minister's vision for giving very special emphasis not only to education but more importantly to women, girls' education as well as skill development, which eventually will be taking this country and the next generation and generations to come forward and giving them strength to be able to stand on their own two feet. So education, of course, is the most important pillar in any child's evolution and development. And the government's policy, the NEP, and other initiatives have actually been bearing fruit. I would like to just emphasize one thing, sir, that all states, I come from Maharashtra, which has been one of the most, I would say, forward-looking in terms of education. My colleague here has been the Chief Minister also of the state. We all focus on education being affordable. Therefore, all our children in villages or even in big cities went to municipal schools, they went to Zilla Parishad schools, and so on. But over a period of time, whether it be Maharashtra or many other states in the country, have not been contemporary enough to change according to the needs of the time. And as a consequence, most of the municipal schools and Zilla Parishad schools, they impart education, of course, in the language of the state, which is absolutely necessary, but they have not kept pace on par with the other changes which are taking place in this field of education. Now, whether we like it or not, because everybody is so passionate when it comes to language. In Maharashtra, people will obviously be fighting for Marathi. In Tamil Nadu, we always see that people fight for the Tamil language, and rightly so, nothing wrong with that. It is a language which is our ownership, coming from a particular state. But at the same time, the world is changing. Today, I dare say, and I should say this because most of us will have experienced it. आप सब जिला परिषद स्कूल, म्युनिसिपल स्कूल में
District board schools, municipal schools are not taking students now. 20-25 students are there in some classes, and in small villages free education is there, and small classrooms, buildings are there, 40-50,000 rupees annual. Elsewhere we are paying. What I'm trying to say is,
somewhere there is a need to tweak the educational model, and I would say to the central government, Pradhan ji suniye.
Pradhan ji, please hear me out. You also need to focus from central government, whatever you can do, you do, but please encourage the states also that in their areas, whatever medium of instruction is there and the system of education that they are following, they should change it for the better, because it is the need of the hour, and they should do things in sync with the changing times. If the same child, despite free education, is not going to one set of schools and is going to the other, then the parents also have a mindset why they are sending to one and not to the other. Please conclude. Sir, through states, these are CBSE schools on the other side. You can get things changed with the help of CBSE if need be, and we can move forward. Well, you are indicating, sir, some more time, a few minutes more.
He is my dearest friend.
Yes.
दूसरा sir,
Secondly, sir,
मैं वो निष्पक्षी हैं.
objective. Yeah. He is there in the middle. Yes, sir. Sir, my submission. Sir, we have so many children, they are going abroad to get education. If you calculate, sir, it's a humongous amount. Regular education, technical education, medical education, for everything they are going abroad. So many lakhs of students are studying abroad for these. And we haven't heard of those countries where these students have gone for higher education. Why? We have to change something somewhere. Mindset, first of all, because we stretch things so far that sometimes we lose sight of the correct path. Across the globe, students have gone, lakhs of crores of rupees of their parents they are spending to gain education. Some are coming back, others are not doing that. That same system we can have here. We can have tie-up with the foreign universities, or we can have institutions coming up to that level. Why should students go abroad and get educated instead of getting education here? If we can reverse the trend, it would be a big achievement. Local issues are there, so many other things are there. We need to tweak the policies. And lastly, sir, across the country, we are proud of all our indigenous languages. We should be proud. Classical language, Marathi is vying for the status now, and because of the issue in Maharashtra, we feel so proud about our language, and all have accorded respect to it, and we feel happy that all respect our language. Likewise, all languages of India are equally important. Whatever we can give by way of importance to them at local level, and how our students can, through medium of indigenous language instruction, become global citizens, we have to give it a deep thought, and we should try to bring about more improvement. And in skill development also we have to do much more. So many people are working with their skill sets in the Arabian countries, in Gulf countries, and they are remitting so many thousands and lakhs of dollars, millions of dollars. So it is very essential for our forex reserves, and wherever they are getting employment opportunities, it is only because of their skill set. So skill development is to be encouraged more and more. This I want to request the Honorable Education Minister. And with these words, once again, I appreciate and associate myself with all his good efforts. and our cooperation is always there, and the future citizens of India should get better education, quality education, and he'll work towards that tirelessly. I congratulate, I wish him the best. Thank you to
Dr. Kalpana Sen.
माननीय सभापति
Honorable Vice Chairman, sir. Today, through the August House, I want to talk about the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, and Nirmala Sitharaman ji has given for 25-26 budget provision has been made for education sector. We are discussing education. Yes, historical efforts have been put in and far-reaching measures have been put in place. We are working with the resolve that Prime Minister Honorable Modi ji has given us, and the policy of our country in the education sector is trying to strengthen the education system. 40% of our population consists of women and children. It's a demographic dividend. At the same time, we have so many challenges facing us. The whetstone to test any administration management is education, the quality of education. If we look at the functioning of the government for the past few years, we have seen how far we have reached, how far we have come. Earlier, it was not like that. We were lagging behind internationally. To modernize the education, we have gone in for Digital India movement and campaign. Earlier, no concrete steps, therefore, were taken. Only academics we were focusing upon, and the skill set was not developed so that people could get employment in industry sector. The opposition governments had not paid attention to quality education, to skill development, because of which they could not go and join the industry sector, and they were unemployable. Instead, when in 2014 the Modi government came, budget provisions were enhanced, and 68.728 crore rupee budget was there in 2014, and virtual classes were focused upon thereafter, and 68.98 crore was there for higher education, new IIMs, new IITs, and education loan were focused upon. In 2016, 72.394 crore rupee budget was given to make education international and global level education we wanted to have. And Higher Education Financing Agency was set up. In 2017, 9.9 increase was there, and 79685 crore rupees were given, because of which autonomy to colleges was given, and the NTA was also set up. In 2018, 8326 crore rupee budget was given, and Study in India program was launched to attract the foreign students. In 2019, 13.4 was the increase, and 94853 crore rupees were given for sports encouragement, and AI was now to be brought in. In 2020, education budget was 99300 crore rupee, and the main objective was to implement the new education policy. In 2021, Education Ministry got 93224 crore rupees budget for empowering the education system and strengthening the skilling system to empower the youngsters and to provide quality education to the youngsters of the country. BJP government carried out extensive reforms in the education sector, and the education policy 2020 is the main stay therefore in the Indian education system. The Indian initiative is a milestone for bringing about improvement. We have taken a holistic view so that the students are not confined only to traditional methods of teaching. but they have practical education which they can use in their life, and they have a skill set available to them. Arts, science, and professional things have all to be combined, and creative and also their problem-solving ability should be enhanced. It focuses on that. NAP 2020 is not targeting imparting education to give degree only, but to make them global level students and learners. In 22, for the first time, the budget crossed a milestone, and student was in the focus. In 23, budget was enhanced to 112.899 crore rupees, and Eklavya Vidyalayas were able to get 38,000 teachers, and research centers were also set up, and new schemes were implemented to have professional courses introduced. In 2024, the education budget was 148,000 crore rupees, and employment-oriented education system was put in place on a large scale. This past decade has been to focus on strengthening of the education system and to have skilling at the level of the international standards. NAP 2023 has among the programs included arts integration with the innovative measures also, and creativity has also been enhanced.
So that the students can learn from her and can gain practical knowledge from it. After implementing the new education policy, they have made the education job-oriented and have taken strict measures in that regard. The research foundation initiatives like that, they have made it a point to skill the youngsters and have made them skilled. And Honorable Narendra Modi ji and the belief of the party has been strengthened that the measures that they have been taking are going in the right direction. And this has been the biggest power of the party. In the area of job, and these 10 years can be hailed as the golden 10 years, right from implementing the new education policy, and they have done major initiatives like strengthening the infrastructure. In order to promote the digital education is one of the most important initiatives, and a lot of students have been associated with online education also. But the online mode of education has been given a big boost during the pandemic. Now, this education through online mode has not just become, it has become a necessity now, and those people are now able to gain education who were not being able to get the education. And after implementing this online education, 2 government schools have been converted into model schools, and this has been given the name of Rising Schools, and 6270 schools have been identified and have been selected to for their transformation. And in order to prevent the youngsters from unemployment, and after coming into power, they have initiated these measures to connect the youngsters with skills. And their target up till 2030 is to associate the youngsters to one or the other skill, and the digitization of the new education system, and to connect it to new innovations. In this budget, the Ministry of Education has been allocated 128,560 crore rupees, which is 6.22% more than the provisions made in the earlier year. 78,572 crore rupees have been allocated for primary, and 5,002 crore rupees have been allocated for higher education, so that the education can be strengthened and the school education can be made more inclusive and quality oriented. And for that, 3 laboratories have been set up so that innovation and the interest of the youngsters can be inculcated towards research. When in 21st century the revolution of digitization is on the rise, it is mandatory for everyone to include them. Especially under the digital India revolution, all the government schools have been given broadband connectivity so that online education will get a bigger boost. And in order to make the online education, to give it global standards, government has adopted new technical authorities, and it has also established central universities and other institutes, and it has also increased their budget so that the youngsters can be made ready for global competition. In the previous year, in 23 IITs, the number of students have risen up to more than 65,000. And under the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, the education is being provided to girl child, and several measures have been taken in this regard. And the female girls, the students, they have also been given free of cost dress and books so that they can continue their schooling till class 12, and they are also being provided training of self-defense. And in remote areas, in order to improve the quality of education, several measures have been taken in this regard. And other teachers have also been employed so that the girl child and the students, they feel safe in the school. In the rural villages, there was lack of basic infrastructure, and there was lack of quality education and quality course. From the point of view of language, BJP has given priority to mother tongue. The result of which was that the deprived categories, the students belonging to that category, they were not able to get education, and BJP government has started Bharatiya Pustak Yojana in this regard. For this, free of cost study material will be provided to the students, and in this regard, the government has established Digital University, which will provide a digital platform and will also keeping in mind the job opportunities. Rashtriya Kaushal Sansthan have also been set up in this regard. The government also is trying to connect the social security and is also trying to establish identity cards. In terms of innovation and research, and to give them a boost, the government has allocated 20,000 crore rupees, and they have taken a step in this regard so that India, our nation, can rise as a center of research and innovation. And 5,000 crores have been allocated in this regard so that more and more students can get quality education. And apart from this, Pradhan Mantri Vidya Yojana, the digitized mode of education will be strengthened so that e-classes will be held for the students and be made more effective. National Education Policy 2020, under this, interdisciplinary learning has been adopted, because of which the students are able to generate opportunities, and they have also taken measures with regard to job-oriented courses, and students can also come up with their own version of jobs. And the students belonging to the deprived section can get benefit from that. And the government has assured that this should not be just a way to acquire degrees, but their skills should also be enhanced. And I would like to thank Education Minister Shri Dharmendra Pradhan Ji that this budget will focus and will boost the area of research and innovation. And this will not only lead to to better the quality of education, but will also contribute effectively in the sector of education. And as far as India will also move forward under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister and will also take resolution to take everyone forward, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka. And with this slogan, this budget is knowledge-based and it is a historical step taken in this regard, and I completely support this bill. Thank you. Shri Abdul Wahab. Honorable Member Shri Abdul Wahab ji.
An opportunity to talk on the Nagpur, not Nagpur, new education policy. My request to our minister is, first of all, in our Malappuram, we need a Kendriya Vidyalaya. It's a long pending case in Ponnani. And the next is central assistance to set up digital libraries in Kerala. Only 3,416 schools out of 15,864 in Kerala has digital library. And fund allocation to AMO Center Malappuram, Aligarh Muslim University, there is a campus. We have given 300 acres, acquired 300 acres and given to that campus. Nothing is there. Either you return the property to Kerala government so that we can set up some universities there. Minister ji, Aligarh Muslim University, the 300 acre, this is unutilized for years, and we, with much difficulty, we acquired that. If you are not need of Aligarh Muslim University, please return to Kerala government. We are scarcity of land in Kerala, as you all know. And timely disbursal of scholarship, which is not happening now. Forget about the what you call Azad, Maulana Azad. Change the name Maulana Azad to Prime Minister, no problem. We want scholarship. If the name is the problem, change the name. And disbursal even to SC, STs, I don't know whether it is coming from there. For them also is not getting. And OBC fellowship is late by 6 to 8 months. Increase non-net fellowship from 8,000 to minimum 20,000. 8,000 rupees, Manrega, they are not getting more than that. They cannot live with that 8,000 rupees. Reinstance of Maulana Azad National Fellowship. Dropout of suicide in NIT in Calicut. See, a lot of students are, suicide is happening there. For what reason? There should be a study on that. In NIT Calicut. Hello? NIT.
Should listen to it because he disturbs everyone else.
Suicide hota hai. And there is one more thing that already our other colleague mentioned about this one professor is telling something good about somebody who killed Mahatma Gandhi. I am not referring that one, but it is happening. It is from NIT Calicut, so it is known. And so for that one, there is an inquiry committee has to set up for the what you call for the suicide. 54 suicide happened there. For what reason? For why it is happening, we don't know. The reason UGC regulation 2025 takes down the autonomy of the university with minority status to appoint their own independent committee for selection and promotion of faculties. The reason UGC regulation 2025 did not involve any role for the state government in appointing vice chancellors in public universities under state act. Finished? It is not. How it is possible, ma'am?
Time to complete.
No, thank you.
Your time is over.
This is why violation of fundamental rights of state
Within 1 minute, please conclude.
And many other aspects. The UGC regulation 2025 is highly controversial. Hence, it must be taken back. Thank you very much. Now, okay.
Thank you. Sri S. Salva Ganvithi.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. Education is to promote the economic and the socio-cultural development of developing countries. Education plays an important role in human capacity building and accelerate economic growth through a society's knowledge, skills, and creative strength. Education's positive outcomes include poverty reduction, health status change, socio-economic policy development, and good governance. Keeping everything all this in mind, the budget is aiming to cater to the comprehensive requirements right from childhood to youth, who could be leading from the front in realizing the Viksit Bharat agenda in 2047 and beyond. The highlight of the historic budget 25-26 is total budget allocation for Ministry of Education has reached 1,28,650 crore, marking a 6.22% increase over 24-25. 50,000 adult tinkering labs in government schools is a landmark. In next 5 years, all government secondary schools will be provided with broadband connectivity under BharatNet. In the next 3 years, Bharatiya Bhasha Pustak scheme to provide digital form Indian language books. Allocation of rupees 20,000 crores to implement private sector driven research, development and innovation. IT started after 2014 have got new infrastructure which could accommodate 6,500 students more. It also provides provision of 10,000 fellowships for technological research under PM Research Fellowship Scheme. 5 national centers of excellence for skilling to equip youth for Make for India, Make for World. Manufacturing Center of Excellence in Artificial Intelligence for Education with a total outlay of 500 crores. Through regulatory changes, regulators are facilitating opportunities for stakeholders by taking measures to internationalize the education ecosystem, bring transparency and industry relevance, and improve access to education for India's youth. Some areas where regulatory stakeholders consultations have resulted in promulgation of regulations are UGC guidelines to facilitate the setting up foreign university campuses anywhere in India, which will further add to this impetus of internationalization. An institution development plan, IDP, for higher education institutions, which provides a strategic roadmap for their functional and structural growth. Mandatory disclosures on institutions' websites provide much needed transparency and allow students and parents to make well-informed decisions about admissions and others. Introduction of PM Vidya Lakshmi scheme to provide financial support to meritorious students, thereby improving access to education and targeting to increase the gross enrollment ratio. Prime Minister Narendra Modi government approved a new central sector scheme, PM Vidya Lakshmi, on November 6, 2024. It seeks to provide financial support to meritorious students in their pursuit of higher education. PM Vidya Lakshmi portal provides single window for students to access information and make application for educational loans provided by banks and government scholarship. It has the following features: information about educational loan schemes of banks, common educational loan application form for students, apply to multiple banks for education loans, facility for banks to download students' loan applications, facility for banks to upload loan processing status, facility for students to email grievances, queries relating to educational loans to banks, linkage to National Scholarship Portal for information and application for government scholarships. Our Honorable Prime Minister made provision for setting up another 85 new KV schools. As on date, there are 1,256 Kendra Vidyalaya, out of which 3 are outside of our country. It is in Moscow, Kathmandu, and Tehran. A total 13 lakhs and 56 students are studying in KVs, with the 85 new KV schools. An additional of 82,560 students can accommodated in coming years, and it will create 5,388 direct permanent employment opportunities by way of appointing, teaching, and non-teaching position in the country. A nation can flourish only language. About 3 language system, I'll come to you after some time. Sir, our Prime Minister taking initiative to cut burden on students during exam time. Prime Minister conducts Pariksha Pe Charcha program every year. Many number of students participate all over India and get benefited. Counseling section, stress management, and psychology treatment to students being organized during exam period. It really helps to drop exam-related students' suicide and failures also. One of the best vision of our Prime Minister's scheme is Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao, which is scaling a new heights. The daughters are God's precious gift, but earlier their importance was undermined. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji on January 22 of 2015 launched the scheme Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao. The scheme is completing a decade now. It also ensures proper arrangements and participation in education and employment for girl children. The door for admission of girls in Sainik School and National Defense Academy has been opened. Our Modi's government initiatives have contributed to notable increase in women's participation in STEM. The enrollment figure being around 40% as of 21-22. Over the past decade, female enrollment in higher education has risen from 1.57 crore to 2.7 crore, and the number of women securing PhDs has increased by 107%. Regarding the national education policy, it is aims to make high quality education accessible to all children in India. The policy also aims to reduce the gap between academic and vocational streams and to integrate technology into the education system. Like the previous new education system in 1968, 1986, and 1992 education policies, now our new education policy 2020 also received criticism from certain quarters. Are they valid and reasonable? This is my question. Since 1965, the anti-Hindi sentiment has come to prevail in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. In fact, the opposition to the three-language formula stemmed from this sentiment. The sentiment has been established so strongly that the three-language formula of new education policy 2020 without compulsory Hindi is also opposed. Now we are not giving compulsory education for Hindi, but it is also being opposed. I would like to remind the House, three-language formula was put forth first in 1968 and it is followed in 1986 and 1992. Then three-language formula had a compulsory component in the Hindi at the time. Whose government did this? Only our Congress government did this. But in NIP 2020, Hindi is not being made compulsory. I would like to remind you that all other southern states followed the formula and learned Hindi, except in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Puducherry also Now the CBSE curriculum is being introduced on government schools, and three-language formula is followed in Maghe and Yanam region. I have a question to my friends of the opposition benches. Do they share the same view on three-language formula? Even yesterday, one of the Congress colleagues has vouched for the two-language policy in Tamil Nadu. That is fine. Will the Congress say openly the nation needs only two-language formula? Will the leader Sri Rahul Gandhi ji will agree to that? Because it is Congress government which formulated the three-language system. Even now, they implement three-language formula in Karnataka and Kerala in the south, but in Tamil Nadu, they are supporting for two-language system. They forget that they are pan-India parties and pretend to support the two-language formula in Tamil Nadu. Wherever possible, the medium of instruction until at least grade 5, but preferably till grade 8, 5 and beyond will be the mother tongue or local language or regional language. It does not neglect English medium. It is simplified that thereafter the medium will be English. I have another question to the champions of Tamil. This new education policy prescribes mother tongue as the medium of instruction up to 8th standard. This was not the case with the previous policies. Only the BJP government thought of giving primacy to the mother tongue. It proposes even technical and medical education in the regional languages. Is it not a welcome development? Do you want to oppose this also? There are some self-appointed champions in Tamil language, its heritage and culture. They claim that they are the saviors of Tamil. Before 1967, most of the schools in Tamil Nadu offering Tamil only as the medium of instruction. Only after the dawn of DMK rule, the matriculation schools and CBSE schools have mushroomed, where Tamil is not a compulsory subject at all. They are responsible for more than 30 lakh students completing the school education without learning the alphabet in letter in Tamil. This is very pathetic. They must repent that they have paved way for total neglect of Tamil, even for Tamil natives. Universalization of literacy and numeracy is a much needed one. As a part of it, a Right to Education Act will be extended to cover secondary level. This aims to make education accessible to all children from 3 to 18 years, regardless of their socio-economic background. It is a step towards ensuring social justice by roping in children from underprivileged sections. All the same time, the stress on quality cannot be compromised. Assuming that by grade 3 means end of grade 3, functional literacy, including reading and writing and numeracy, including doing basic operations on paper, are to be attained by the children when they complete the grade. What is its varsity can be proved only by a competent screening system. This is where the question of assessment becomes. The new education policy 2020 brought out by the central government a target of 6% of GDP was fixed for education. For the year 25-26, the budget allocated for the Ministry of Education is rupees in more than 1 lakh crores, which is 33% above the revised estimate of 24-25. The Department of School Education and Literacy has been allocated for 78,572 crores, which is 60% increase over the revised estimate of 24-25. And the Department of Higher Education has been allocated rupees 50,000 crores, which is an 8% increase over the revised estimates of 24-25. Sir, only with small request I conclude. Our Puducherry has introduced CBSE syllabus in all government schools. Sir, Puducherry requires special assistance for upgrading the government schools, improving infrastructure in colleges, and expanding scholarship for students from economically weaker sections. I urge the ministry to allocate specific funds for ET of Puducherry to ensure equitable educational development. Thank you very much.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you.
माननीय सदस्य.
Honorable member.
Thank you. Sir, education is not just a sector, it is a foundation upon which our nation's future rests. It is a bridge between poverty and prosperity, ignorance and knowledge, unemployment and opportunity. While the government boasts of record enrollment, the harsh reality is that learning levels are declining, teacher vacancies remain unfilled, and school infrastructure in many rural areas is shockingly inadequate. The truth is education is not a priority for this government. Public investment on education has actually fallen during the Modi years. Why did the union budget slash education spending from 3.1% from 2014 to 2.9% in 2024? Far below the 6% recommended by the National Educational Policy. And this figure is among the lowest in the world. The government talks about equal opportunities, but how can a farmer's son in Bihar or a factory worker daughter in Uttar Pradesh compete with elite coaching students in cities? Even the Kendra Vidyalaya, it was once a pride of this nation. If you take the last 10 years, the quality of Kendra Vidyalaya all over India has deteriorated, mainly because of the lack of resources, even the not equipped teachers. This has to be, I think we need an inquiry into it. And if you can see the Chinese school, what do we find that the public sectors have been even privatized. Even the Chinese school also have been privatized. So actually the quality has come down. So the over 8 lakh engineering graduates pass out every year, but only 20% gets job relevant to their degree. Over 50% of the Indian graduates remain either unemployed or stuck in low-paying, unrelated jobs. If the PhD holders are applying for a peon's job, if the MBA students are selling vegetables and the engineering students are driving a delivery bike. The government is not only neglects the education but also politicalizes it. Universities are being forced to follow ideological agendas instead of academic independence. Dissenting voices in campus are silenced. Students are being labeled anti-national for questioning policies. The autonomy of the institutions like JNU, DU, IIMS, Indian Institute of Mass Management is being compromised through politically motivated appointments. So recently, we find that there is a lot of antisocial activities and also drug abuse, and also you find even murder cases reported in minor students below the age of 18. So globally, when you see the study, we find that a child is the formation of the overall development is between the age of 3 to 7. And if you are given a good guidance, instruction and education, that child will be successful in future. But whenever the good guidance are not given between the age of 3 and 7, we find most of the child is being diverted to all these antisocial activities. Even if you take Finland, where the national education policy is being, one of the points are being taken, the Finland, the Scandinavian countries, the teachers in the kindergarten, the LKG, their teachers given a pay which is much more than the principal. So I request the government to go through all the facts, what is happening in the country with the children who's going through antisocial activities, and see that a scheme is drafted for the lower classes grade so that they can achieve, they can be successful in the future. I conclude, I ask the government to increase the education spending to 6% of GDP as recommended by the experts, to regulate private school fees to ensure education remains affordable for all. One more point, to stop comment
Please conclude.
education instead of strengthening public institutions. A nation that fails its students fails itself. A government that ignores education is writing a death sentence for its own future.
थैंक यू, धन्यवाद.
Thank you.
श्री रामचंद्र माननीय सदस्य श्री रामचंद्र जांगड़ा जी.
Honorable Ramchandra Angla ji. Thank you, Honorable Vice Chairman, ma'am. Today, we are having discussion on the education policy of India. I would like to talk about the traditional knowledge of India, social, economic, and such transformation requires education, because it's only through education that people can get free of all kinds of slavery. In Gita, Lord Krishna says that war initiates in our mind, and if we make it cultured, if we can pacify it, it can only be done through education.